Well, here we are. It's Sunday, second half of a doubleheader weekend here with Seawolves. And with me,
Hello, hello.
Malik,
Malik Karwi.
Malik Karwi,
Yes, sir.
one of the top players on the men's team. Big win yesterday
Oh
for the
yeah.
men.
Oh yeah, we loved it.
Nice warm up for today
Yes.
because I think this will be a little bit different today.
Yeah. Well, Holland College is a
Little-
good team.
Yeah, that's right.
Really
That's right.
interested in the way they play. So yeah.
But here we are at the women's game. UNBSJ beat Del AC yesterday
They did.
to improve to 2-0
Yep.
on the season. They beat Crandall 3-1 last week. Harder test today, I think, against Holland College.
100%.
Holland, I believe, are 2-1 at the moment, and this one should be a good one. And let's just see where we're at here. And they're getting ready to begin play. So you've watched the girls a couple times now. What do you see from our women's team? Just from observing the first couple of games, what strengths do the girls have?
Well, I've watched the girls actually. I'm always there early for their training sessions and stuff, so I know them pretty good. So their midfield is very strong. Backline is very strong too. We know a couple players like Grace, Charlotte, which is a first year. They have depth on both left back or right back. We can talk about Shanna Brenton, number 5. Yesterday she was fantastic.
She was our broadcast player of the game yesterday.
Yes, I saw it.
And, we have fun with that. It's fun just to be up here. We see the whole game. We just pick a player that we think
Nice.
did well for the team, and that she was our pick yesterday.
Nice.
I thought she handled the ball really
Yeah.
well. Good vision. She's a top level player
Skillful.
for the Seawolves.
Skillful.
We're underway here. This is going to be a good game here today against Holland College. Holland, traditionally, the last 10, 15 years, they've been at or near the top of the ACAA in women's soccer.
Sure.
And they've won several championships. And very well coached team. So we'll see how the Seawolves respond today. I think it'll be a little bit more challenging to get the scoring chances. But offensively, it looks like Scarlett McDonald's going to have to carry the team at the moment. You see any other young players coming up that might be able to, at one point this season, develop into that striking position? Because last year we had Josie, of course,
Yes.
Split
Yes.
Gerber, and she graduated, so she's not with the team now. Do you see anybody else that can maybe jump in there and provide that support for Charlotte or Scarlett? I mean,
100%. So for a striker, we can talk about Nora. She's a first year.
Nora, yeah.
I watched her play a couple times away when I was not in New Brunswick. And for the wingers, we have Lily. Lily is pretty competitive. She likes to get on the ball.
Lily
try-
Carnes, she's from Calgary. That's
yes,
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she is a midfielder, but I can see her on a wing, passing players.
Okay. Yeah. So you do see some players that might be able to kind of step into that offensive role
100%. Yes.
on the girls' side. It takes time to develop the offense. It takes time. I think it's the hardest part of the game to develop.
Yeah.
I think you can develop defensively quicker than you can offensively,
You have to love it.
and that's what that's what has impressed me. So far with the guys, even last year. I think the guys are really getting into sync with each other. On the broadcasters, I think I counted 15 guys that are back from last year's team.
Yes.
Well, I've always maintained that you can't. Excuse me. I've always maintained that you can't win an ACAA title without veteran players.
True. That is true.
And so the Seawolves have that group of players this year, played together. You can see that they've played together,
We know each other very well.
know each other very well. a lot of yesterday. I found a lot of really good one-touch passing, short one-touch passing,
Yes.
but with good purpose too. It's one thing just to pass the ball around,
Right.
but there was good purpose behind it. It was building up building
Right.
up the offense and the
That's what we
play.
want to do. Exactly.
Yeah, and so that was impressive. It'll, again, a little bit different game against Holland today, but I think our guys are going to be able to do that against any team,
Yes.
and so it's not just that game against LAC yesterday. I think we're going to be able to do that against any game. Well, we're in the early going here, 3 minutes into this game here this afternoon. If you just joined us, the Seawolves are in white today. They were in red yesterday, and Holland College are in their maroon, dark maroon. Another good day. Wind blowing a little bit lighter than yesterday. Was there a distinct wind advantage yesterday in the men's game? I know there was in the women's game, but
for the women's, you can tell the ball was just flying and just floating.
it was.
For us, it was kind of it was good. It wasn't as bad.
Yeah, and I think for the Seawolves guys, we play a game along the ground mostly anyway.
We don't have pretty tall players.
No, and the game is
And
we're playing the
it's
game
always-
along the ground, so
yes.
the wind really won't be as much of a factor
Yeah.
in any of our games.
Yeah.
So you as a player, what are you looking to improve on this year? That from a personal point of view, what are you looking to improve on your game?
Honestly, I want to score goals. I'm a player that loves to score.
Yeah, we didn't score goals the way we should have last year. I thought that was our weakness last year.
Yes.
And I think yesterday, I think it was a good start in that direction. Because when you put the ball in the net, you have confidence. It gives you just a different kind of confidence. Would you agree with that outburst yesterday of goals that we can do this, we can put the ball in the net?
100%. I was so happy for Connor. It was a pretty rough year for him last year. He couldn't kind of finish the ball most of the time, but
It's a great
as
start.
a good hat trick. It was really good.
That's a big confidence
Oh,
builder.
yes.
And when you have players around you who can get you the ball,
Sure.
putting it in the net, that's a real key confidence builder for him. So that's a really good thing for the team that he started off so strong.
Right.
Yeah. Now who are the other kind of scorers that you want to score more goals? That's one of your goals
yes.
to put the ball in the net more. You had a lot of chances last year.
I know. I hit the post, missed couple.
Yeah, but who else might provide that scoring punch for the men's side?
Well, I would always say the wingers, and everyone can score. You can. Honestly, Pedro.
Yeah.
He scored. He's a midfielder. He's a number 6, and he
Mhm.
scored a screamer against Holland. It was our friendly game here.
Yeah.
So anyone on the team can score. I remember last year Tristan scored.
Yeah.
He's a CB and he
He
scored.
did.
So everyone can score.
Yeah, I think it's nice if you have 2 or 3 guys that have more than 3 or 4 goals each. That way, the other team can't focus on one player and shut them down. They have 3 or 4 guys that they need to key on, and that's not easy to do.
I know. Right.
So.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what the women can do here today. They're still tied here. We're about 7 minutes, coming up on 7 minutes into the game. Another nice day to play here at the Canada Games Stadium. Lots of soccer action around the ACAA this weekend. And every single game's important because it's not easy to be one of the top 4 teams in the playoffs. Holland on a little bit of an attack here. But again, that Seawolves back line it seems like it's an impenetrable wall. And then Grant Spin in net. She is. I think she's one of the best goalies in the ACAA. Especially, I don't know if you've noticed. Oh, off the crossbar. Off the crossbar. I don't know if the keeper, I think the keeper might have got a hand on that. Got a touch on that one, but that was off the bar, yeah. Well, the Seawolves have their first big chance here on the corner kick. That was a rocket of a shot.
That was a beauty.
Who took that one? I didn't see
Scarlett.
who. Scarlett took
Yep.
it. Well, that's one thing I really like about Scarlett. She shoots. She's not afraid to shoot.
She's confident. So
We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it yesterday on the broadcast. Goal scorers shoot.
yes.
They like to shoot.
Yes. you
Of
don't
course,
shoot, you can't score.
there's always a time to pass. There's always a time to pass. Sometimes a really good goal scorer can freeze the goalkeeper and send the ball across to an open net.
Sure.
But more often than not, your goal scorers, they have a shooting mentality.
Yes.
And so a couple of times yesterday, I just saw a nice cut inside at the top of the 18, and then that one extra move from, I forget who it was, a couple of times. I don't know who the players were, but it's, Seawolves pouring on the pressure here. Seawolves have come out strong. Now again, the Seawolves have a big wind advantage here, so they want to put the ball in the net here in the first half. If take advantage of that. Nice turn. She's Jenna Brenton is really coming alive here in this early stage of this season. Definitely the catalyst for the Seawolves at this point. Holland played yesterday at St. Thomas. I had the score, but I'll find it for us. Regardless, you know you're going to be in for a tough physical battle against Holland.
Oh yes.
They play a physical game, and they do not give up. They are in it for the entire game, and they're going to make you
run.
They're going to make you run. They're going to make you work. They're going to. Yeah. So
we're there for it.
Those are the games you want to play. You want to play the best teams, and you want to see where you stand. You know, with those teams. From what I'm hearing around the league, just the word of mouth, I think looks like UKC is going to be quite strong this year. Off to a great start.
They've always been good, UKC, but this year, yes, they have the players, they have the coaching stuff too.
Yes, that's right, and let's take a look here from yesterday. So Holland beat Stu 3-0 yesterday on the women's side. And so right now the standings, Mount St. Vincent 2-0, UNBSJ 2-0, tied for first place. Holland is 2-1, UKC's 1-1, Stu's 1-1. Dal AC and the Crandall. Looks like they're going to bring up the bottom level of the conference. But I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to see there's 4 playoff spots for 5 teams. So every game is critical for Mount St. Vincent, UNBSJ, Holland, UKC, and Stu.
Yep.
Because it's going to be close at the end of the season for that 4th and final playoff spot.
It's always every year.
It seems that way, and it's the same with the men.
Yes.
Like, you know, you don't want to lose games, especially games that you're supposed to win. You want to win every one of those.
Every point count.
It does, and yeah. So we've got Holland on a little bit of an offensive run here. Kristen Taylor with the throw in. Doherty sends an easy one onto Grant Spin. You're not going to score on her from out there.
Oh, Casey.
I think she was hoping that someone would run onto that ball. No, I like Grant Spin. She is alert in there. She's on it. Like, she makes decisive decisions. Like, when she decides to do something, it's done.
Yes.
And I don't think you can be indecisive as a goalkeeper. I've never played net, but I think your best keepers are decisive, and that gives the team confidence. When your goalkeeper is decisive, that must make you feel good.
If you have a good goalkeeper, if you have a keeper that's confident, that gives you that confidence boost. You know that you have a wall in the back that protects you.
I think you can be a little bit more offensive minded when you have a great keeper.
100%.
And sometimes that might backfire. They might, the odd time they might get a goal because the team is pushing too hard, but not very often. That's the reason they're a great goalie. They're gonna make the save.
Yes.
That's why you're confident in them, right?
Trust them.
That you trust them. That's right. Exactly. Well, the Seawolves, they've had several balls in the box in dangerous territory so far this game. So, and of course, Scarlett hit the crossbar. But I think, and you might have a comment on this one as well. I think with Josie gone, I think Scarlett is going to take that challenge and even score more goals this year.
Yes, 100%. She will try to beat the goal count, and I think she's capable of it.
Oh, no question about it. She gets a lot of chances every game.
And she takes the shots, which is
she does,
good.
and her position. Part of being a great scorer is your anticipation and position on the field.
Always there.
She's always in the right spot. So it was nice to see the start that she's having. Well, we're almost 16 minutes into the game already. No score. If you just joined us, Seawolves in white, Holland in maroon. And as always, we like to greet really people from around the world watching this. Every team has a lot of international players. I look at the Holland lineup and
see Japan there.
Yuki. I call her Yuki,
Nice.
just because. But she's from Japan. Urayasu, Japan. So if you're watching, and Sako is also from Japan. Kyoto City, Japan. So that's pretty cool.
It is.
That's pretty cool. And wow, from all over the place. Cameroon. Cassandra from Cameroon on Holland College. And of course the Seawolves have lots of players from out west, all over the place. Kelowna, BC, Chilliwack, BC, Embrun, Ontario, Maple, Ontario, Newmarket, Ontario, like Sherwood Park, Alberta. So we almost have all of the provinces covered.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. So for those of you who are watching, hope you're enjoying the broadcast, and And don't just settle for the women's broadcast. Make sure you watch the men, right?
Oh yes, exciting game today.
That is good.
3:15.
That is going to be an exciting game.
Yes.
Seawolves with a pretty big wind advantage, so they want to get on the board here in the first half. Holland doing a good job against the wind. Holland has been keeping the ball on the ground for the most part. Holland is also known throughout the years for their defense. They're a tough team to score against. As seen yesterday, 3-0 versus
yes.
Stu. You know,
Yes.
it's a shutout. Just tough team to score against all the time. You're going to earn it. If you're going to score, you're going to earn that goal.
Right.
And I think, really, I mean, that's the game of soccer. I mean, the better teams are very tight defensively.
100%. We can. I get excited playing against.
Oh, great defense there. Great defense. Grace Gordon with a really solid defensive play there. It looked like Liv McDougall, 14, was the one who tried to sneak through there. No, that's Cassandra, 14. She almost got clear there. It was really close. But I really like the fact that she exploded
Yeah.
to try to get past that. She didn't hesitate, but bam, she was
That's
trying
the
to
winger
explode,
mentality.
right?
That's the winger mentality.
And you know, the one thing I noticed with the guys yesterday, a couple of times I really felt like the player had position on the outside and could have cut directly behind the defender to either draw the foul or get the breakaway.
Sure.
And they kept going on the same path, and the defender cut them off. And so that's what I was talking about right there. She just exploded for that spot.
Yes.
And
She's pretty fast.
but Grace Gordon, you know, she read that play and went right to the same spot. So that's good defending. But that's, you know, talking about goal scoring and talking about scoring goals. Certainly that cut-in play is one way to at least create a great chance or get a penalty or get a free kick or get a penalty shot.
Sure.
And, you know, it's a mindset because sometimes there's just that hesitation for 1 second, and that's all it takes for a good defender. And they've got you.
Yeah.
Okay, Holland's still hanging in there. Other than that scoring opportunity by Scarlett, there really hasn't been any other really good scoring opportunities on either side that I can remember. I don't think that either team has had a good scoring chance beyond that one that hit the bar. That was a good one. So what's the routine for the guys? So the girls' game is going right now. When do you guys start to get ready? When do you?
So we have to come and watch the girls. Obviously, we need to cheer for them.
That's
and
right.
Then on the halftime, we go down, clap for them.
At the
cheer.
halftime, yeah.
Yes. And then we go inside, change, put our music, and lock in.
Get ready for the game.
Exactly.
You know that tradition of cheering the other. That's a meaningful tradition that started. It's a real important.
We're a family.
Real important. It's that's what it's all about. So Holland only made the trip down from Fredericton, so they should have their, should have their legs. And they didn't travel from Holland College yesterday. They had a short trip. Oh. Lillian Young took that shot for the Hurricanes, first-year player. But again, at least she took the shot, right?
Exactly.
You know what? That's what you do when you're anywhere near that 18-yard box.
You can't score if you don't shoot.
Kristen Taylor seems to be involved a lot in the offense on this side of the field. That's going to run through. Now, where do you go next week?
Next week we're going to Halifax. We're playing both MSVO and UKC.
Big weekend.
Yes.
Big weekend. That's always a big weekend, and especially where it's a swing trip, where Stu's over there too.
Yes.
So you got 4 teams.
I think last year we stayed at the same hotel.
Oh, did
Yes.
you? Oh, yeah. Well, you're playing the other teams. You're not playing against each other, right?
Yes.
So that's okay. Yeah, but now where are those games going to be played at?
One of them is going to be played in Wickwire.
Wickwire, yeah.
Yes. And
That's a large field. It's
It
a
is.
spacious. You have to be ready to run on that field because that's a big field. And the other one is Mainland Commons. Is that?
It's supposed to be at Mainland, but we might play in Bedford.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, we've settled into a defensive battle here between the two teams. We're 25 minutes in and almost 26 minutes in, and both teams are working hard, but nothing to show for it offensively. Cassandra, she's making her way down the far wing. You can see the difference early in the season for especially teams that have a young, like Dal AC yesterday. They only had 5 returning players. All the other players were first year.
Lots of first
So that's why I was saying on the broadcast that you can't expect miracles from a mainly first year team. It's going to take them time to develop. They're going to get better playing together, and that's really their job at this point in the season to improve their shape defensively, improve their, what's the word I'm looking for? This could be a dangerous. Well, that was a big chance for Holland. Not sure how she got through there unchecked, but she did. It looks like number 5. Carissa George, she had a chance to put Holland up there. Like, that was a point-blank shot that probably should have been in the back of the net. And that's the way it goes. That's soccer, right? That's the way it goes. But that's what I'm talking about. The experienced strikers, they just make a shot that's accurate, but it's low probably.
Yes.
It's in the net.
Placed.
From there, a striker is more likely than not to put that ball in the net.
Yes.
But it does happen sometimes where you lean back a little bit and you kick the ball up high. Your weight's not staying down on the shot. Now, the other way to look at it is she got into the position to have the chance in the first place, so maybe she'll get another crack later on and put that one in. But the Seawolves definitely have to track a little bit better than that. She was pretty much wide open there,
Yes.
so the Seawolves can't let that happen. Yeah, she came in. It looks like she came in from the midfield. She is playing midfield, so you know, the Seawolves have to be careful of that player coming through.
Yeah.
You know, not just focus on the. Here comes Holland again. Holland, they look like they want to pounce on that ball and do some damage here.
Looks like it's always between the two CBs trying to get a breakaway.
Yeah, that wasn't as dangerous as it looked. I mean, the Seawolves did a good job, you know, defending that. Oh,
Nice press by Scarlett.
it's cleared out to the wing. Holland, they look comfortable at the back. No panic there. Just send it over to Doucette. She sent it out wide, so at least it's out of trouble then, right?
Yes. But you can tell Seawolves are pressing really good. It's a high block right now.
Charlotte looks like she's up front by herself at the moment. Seawolves have they have four back with one in the front of the. Looks like they have a. Again, mostly midfield play here at the moment. Both teams pressuring on defense, not really giving the offense much of a chance to get going.
It's a physical game.
Holland definitely know what they want to do. They haven't been able to do it yet. Seawolves defense. Now. Okay. Malutin is doing some running for the Seawolves. She tracked that one down almost made it. You never know what's going to happen when you pressure a keeper like that, right?
Yep.
You know, or the back. We're 32 minutes in now. Both goalkeepers under control out there. The midfields are playing, you know, solid. One thing Holland do quite well is they have pretty good support off the ball. They definitely go to open space.
Yep.
and they take their time. They don't just
They're
rush. They don't give the.
composed on the ball.
Yeah. They do support each other pretty well. And I think the Seawolves do the same thing. I think like there's a nice pass through the middle to Brenton. Just taking their time on this build up. Holland not allowing a lot of space. They're right on them. Both teams doing a pretty good job shutting down space. You know, the space and time. There's not a lot of room to maneuver out there. Well, Grace Gordon put one off the crossbar yesterday from about this distance, so
She can hit from that distance, we know.
that's a little too. That was a little further out than last time. I think she was at around the 35 last time. That was a little far out, but well, it's pretty clear, even after 30 minutes, that there's not much to choose between these two teams. They're both pretty close. I think they've both been on attack. They've both been on defense. I think you're going to see. I think there's four or five teams in the women's side that are pretty similar.
Yes.
Obviously haven't seen UKC or Mount St. Vincent yet. You know they're both going to be good because they are always good. But from looking at these two teams,
Lots of
they
competition.
look pretty even. And you never know what a 3-0 score means because, you know, maybe Stu was down 1 and started pushing forward. You know, you don't know what that 3 means. You know, whether it was, you know, a dominating 3 or 1 plus 2 late goals because the other team was pushing. You never know. So we don't know for sure what that means. Cassandra's been she's been involved on the other side quite a bit for the
Both
for the
defensively
Hurricanes.
and attacking. She's everywhere.
She's second-year player. Holland have 12 players who are in their second year or more. That's a pretty veteran lineup. Who finally got that one?
Number 7. It was a good
Taylor.
cross.
Kristen Taylor. Well, she's been involved in their offense all the way through the first half here so far. So
Pretty sure Seawolves will bounce back from that.
Seawolves have 14 veteran players. So these are two veteran teams, and they're playing like it. They're playing like veteran teams. Neither team's panicking. They're both solid on defense. They're really limiting the amount of time they're giving the other team. That's a perfect example right there. Like she's right on her back as soon as the ball touches her foot, she's on her back.
That's experience.
And well, the Hurricanes strike first here. Yeah, it's the Hurricanes are, you know, a well-coached team, and you can see why they're always one of the best defensive teams. They really do limit your time out there. They're a hard-working team on defense.
Yeah,
There's never a time when someone's not going right directly to that ball.
sure.
She was looking for that ball. If she could have snuck by the defender, she would have liked to have gotten a foot on that one. Grant Spin had it, but she was lurking in the background there, kind of hiding behind the defender
Yes.
and trying to get a foot on that ball at the same time. So there's another step. I think the Seawolves have to make sure as the pass is coming to them, they gotta move, they gotta go back and get that pass. They can't let the defender step around them to
Yes.
intercept. Like, you've got to be moving all the time,
Yes.
right? And it's easy to do. It's easy to kind of get flat-footed and wait for the pass because you see it coming. So you get lazy, you get flat-footed, and then someone steps around you and takes
That's
it.
when you have to check your shoulders. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Checking shoulders.
And communication from the other players, right?
100%.
You know, they need to be your eyes because you're facing them.
Yes.
They need to be your eyes. You know, now how about the communication? Is that something the guys are pretty good at, or
We're
still working on that, still getting better?
we're actually pretty good at it this year. We've done good last year.
Yeah.
It got better from my first year, 100%.
And it's still a work in progress, but getting better
everyone
all
is
the time.
leading.
Eh?
Everyone is leading on the field.
That's good. No, that's good. Well, the Hurricanes are nursing a 1-goal lead with 4 minutes left in this first half. I mean, we've talked about it several times now, but I think for me if you're Holland, I think they have to be pleased with the way they shut down the Seawolves on defense. I think that's they've done a good job of that this half. And Liv McDougall, first-year player, at the back. She's been solid at the back, very solid, sure-footed,
Yeah.
confident, poised, relaxed. You know, for a first-year player, that's impressive
It
at the
is,
back
Yes.
because, you know, if you up front, you know you're not the last line of defense. At the back, you next to the goalkeeper, you are. So,
It is scary to lose the ball there.
but
Composed.
she's very confident back there, and I guess that's why she's starting at such
Yes.
an important
Yes.
position. That's why she is playing that position. So Haley Coleman goes in there and dives over the goalie. She flew on that one. Pratt came out to make a good save. Just go out there and get that ball and wrap it in your arms so nobody can.
Yep.
But Haley Coleman, she may have been in gymnastics at some point because that looked like a pretty good front roll over the keeper. I don't know if gymnastics and soccer are twin sports that sometimes go together or not, but
Pretty sure.
it
yeah.
sure looks like it. Anyway, if they're not, maybe they should be. Although we've seen players do flips when they score goals.
Oh yes. One of
right?
them is Shadrach on our team. Once when Shadrach scores,
Yeah.
he just backflips.
See? Backflips, even
Yes.
harder.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Isabel Malutin is really pursuing the ball. I like, it's great that she's working hard out there, and she's going to get results from that. And sometimes that pays off later in the game against a fullback,
Yes.
because if they're having to go back and get that ball multiple times in the first half, that fatigue level may set in a little bit in the second, just enough to get one step on them.
Right.
One step, it's all it takes.
Yes.
So this first half pursuing and first half hard work can pay off in the 70th, 80th, 85th minute when you get a similar chance and they don't quite have the same energy to get back there
Oh,
that
yes.
they had early in the game.
That's also why you have a bench. Players
Absolutely.
can get on the field and do the same work, maybe even more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. And that's where good coaching comes in. They recognize when a player maybe has lost their step a little bit, and you put another player in there that has that step and actually energizes the team.
Yep.
Who's that player on your team?
Oh, we have lots of players.
You do.
Last year, Chauncey was one of them. I remember away. John was fantastic.
How about this year? Who
This
who
year-
who who come like who's the energizer? Who energizes?
As you can tell, yesterday, Abdurman Gadura, he was a
He-
substitute.
he came in-
2 goals.
2 goals, had the ball on his foot a lot.
Yep.
He's a good player.
He is.
I mean, he's a good player.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that was great to see. Great to see him come in there, and well, the first half's over,
All right.
and we're looking forward to watching you guys play
Yes, sir.
next. Thanks for jumping in
Of
with me.
course,
Maybe
of
maybe
course.
another time again.
100%.
That'd be awesome. Well, you're going to be in for a treat watching the men's team next game. This has been a treat here so far. It's been a good game, a good women's game.
A nice
Holland College up 1-0. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back to start the second half. Well, here we are. We're back in at the second half. Seawolves, Holland Hurricanes. Second game for both teams this weekend. Holland beat Stu 3-0 yesterday. Seawolves beat Dalrams 2-1. Holland leads this one 1-0. Tight first half. Not a lot of space out there. Not a lot of scoring chances. Holland took advantage of one of theirs. See if the Seawolves will be hard pressed this half against the wind. See if they can push forward a little bit more than last half. Holland again with a good solid defense. One of the staples of their team through the years has been defense. Seawolves with a bit of a chance there. Seawolves get it back. Holland controlling the play here. Seawolves trying to pressure it a little bit. Sanda, who had a good first half for the Hurricanes. A little bit of tugging and pulling on both sides there. But it's going to be Holland ball. Free kick for Holland. McDougall, first-year player for the Hurricanes. Ball in a dangerous area here, just at the top of the 18. And Seawolves do a good job clearing that out of danger. Been a physical game. Both teams jostling hard for position. It's the typical UNBSJ Holland game. Tight defense, good goalkeeping. Definitely no excuses out here today. Great day for soccer. Oh, that's a nice turn. Kimmins with the ball at the back. Seawolves just bringing it out slowly. Wingers wide. Brenton over. Pass to the wing. Heb sends it into the box, but intercepted by the Hurricanes. Hurricanes a hard-working team on defense. They give you no time and no space. And they step up in front of the ball really well. The passers need to be on their toes and coming back to the pass. Hurricanes, they're very alert to those the incoming passes. Heb with the throw in. Wynn making a nice move and a shot. Easily handled there by Pratt. Not a dangerous shot, but a shot nonetheless. To get this started for the Seawolves, they need a lot of those shots from a little bit closer range if they're going to beat Pratt today, I think. Hurricanes, the wind almost looks like it's picked up even from the first half, so I think the Hurricanes certainly have the advantage here in the second half, especially with a 1-goal lead. Well, it's a nice ball out to the wing. And Pratt out well to pick off that pass, that cross. And there's what we're talking about with that wind. If the Hurricanes can control their offense, they're going to get some chances this half. Kimmins first to that ball. She knocks it out off a Hurricane. Heb knocks it back. Grant Spin in control here. We've already played 8 minutes here in the second half, so no need to panic on the Seawolves' part. Lots of time left in this game. But they do need to start to generate a little bit more offense. McDonald heads it on into the 18-yard box, but Pratt is there to take it, and she is launching those kicks. Mentioned in the first half, the Hurricanes continue to support off the ball really well. They always have at least one prime player, and usually have a couple of at least one support player ready for the pass in an open space. So as a result, they don't usually make very many mistakes. They've got an open player to pass to, and they play a calm game out there because of that. They're not rushed They don't feel under pressure. They're just supporting each other really well. So it is a Seawolves corner kick. Brenton is taking it. A beautiful ball into the box. This could be dangerous, but it wasn't. That one went right through, and nobody. Cassandra is making her presence known here. First-year player. Cameroon. Cassandra. Jenamar brings it down. Hab's going to take throw again. Throw in. Throw in over the backs of the Seawolves, but nobody ran onto that one, so that's going to be a goal kick. 12 minutes in, if you just joined us, Seawolves and Hurricanes. Holland Hurricanes and the UNBSJ Seawolves. Holland is leading 1-0. Really tight affair, tight midfield affair, not very many scoring chances. Play mostly in midfield. Both teams marking well, putting pressure on the ball well. Holland have slowed the pace down of this game in this second half. They're trying to keep this game as slow as possible. And they're doing a good job of it. Brenton out to the wing. That was a shot over the net by, I can't see the number, by number 8, Lily Carnes, first year out of Calgary. Would have been nice to see her get her first goal of the season here. I shouldn't say that. I'm not sure if she scored up in Crandall or not, but regardless, it would have been nice for the Seawolves to see that ball go in the net. And Cassandra, she is moving down the wing. Tried for a shot, but sent it up over the net. Holland pressuring hard. There's a giveaway. But it's cleared. Brenton has it. Look at that move. Look at that move. Beautiful move. A little bit of a... I think Brenton would have liked to have seen that ball go out to the wing a bit more, but beautiful move in the midfield. Cassandra causing problems like she has all day on that wing. She's been trouble today for the Seawolves. Seawolves had a nice break on that last play, but nice pressure by Anderson there on defense. And that ball's going to roll through the end line. Well, we've hit the 60th minute. We've got 30 minutes left. As mentioned, lots and lots of time for the Seawolves. But you get the sense that Holland does not feel under pressure here at all in the second half. Seawolves have not really had any scoring chances. The one corner kick really didn't result in much. You just sense that Holland is happy to have a lull in this game and keep that lull going as long as possible. Habs got it. Holland continue to stifle the Seawolves at every turn. Seawolves are not able to get anything going here. And there goes Cassandra on another run. Seawolves have plenty of time, but we're now 28 minutes in and to the second half. Or 28 minutes left in the game, I should say. And the Hurricanes have a corner kick of their own right now. Any corner kick is a dangerous kick for the Seawolves at this point. They can't afford to go down 2-0 against a team that plays defense this well. And the Hurricanes are coming off a shutout last game, you know, so they're playing stingy defense. Jenna Mara making a run through the midfield. Jenna Brenton picks up on the loose ball. There's the ball out to Heb on the wing. See if the Seawolves can get something going here. That one's blocked. And there's Cassandra again. Oh, a nice. And here's where the Seawolves. That's a nice takeaway from Grace there. Gordon. That's defending right there because that was a 2-on-1. If the Seawolves, if Grace doesn't make that play.
It's a real luxury to have someone like Grace Gordon on the back line there.
It is.
I mean, you can almost take for granted at times.
She's solid.
Yeah,
she's solid back there.
Like you were speaking to earlier, the discipline on the back line that she has. A lot of the times, they said earlier, just trusting your teammates, and they put a lot of trust in her to keep the back line.
I think there's a sub here. 7 is going out. 10's coming in, I believe, for the Seawolves. I think. Let's take a look here and just make sure. Looks like Anderson is going out and Sophie Hunt is coming in. There's Sophie in the midfield. So Anderson is out and Sophie Hunt is in. Now Hunt will provide that offensive spark that the Seawolves need. Hurricanes really continue to keep the Seawolves hemmed in the half. You know that the Seawolves haven't really gotten past half very much in this second half, and you know it's partly a function of the wind. It's a pretty big function of the wind. The wind is really pushing hard against the Seawolves.
You can tell that Grant Spin's usually electing to keep the ball on the ground.
She is.
And try to move it up the sidelines with
that's right.
teammates rather than get it down the field with the.
I mean that's a great kick in this wind.
Yeah.
If Scarlett McDonald can spring loose for one of those, she only needs one.
She only needs one opportunity. She's just such a dangerous player. Just hasn't been able to get the space to operate. That's comfortable in.
That's great defending. That's great defending. I think that was McDougall that took her on there, and that was excellent defending. Cassandra just continues on. Oh, I guess that was the.
That's Heb. Credit to Lydia Heb there on the back line. She's had quite the tough assignment tonight.
She's had a tough assignment. Cassandra looks like she has a great deal of stamina because she's been running hard the entire game down that wing.
It never seems to stop moving. And
she, she's been involved in all of their offense, a lot of their defense even. Like she plays both sides of the ball really well. And here she is again. Speaking of her, here she is again. And she shields the ball well. Just a good young player. Really good young player.
She does a really good job at using her body to control the ball.
She does.
The pace of the game. You see her just often shield defenders off, just using that core strength to win the ball.
We're at 67 minutes, almost 68 minutes now, so we're getting to the point where the Seawolves, maybe not quite yet, but we're getting there where the Seawolves might have to start pushing up a little bit more than they have been.
Yeah, the Hurricanes definitely using the clock to their advantage here in the second half. They played a really disciplined pace. They are.
They're playing at a
effective pace. Really.
Effective pace. That's a good word to use.
Sometimes you see teams do that with a 1-goal lead, and it can actually come back to hurt them a little bit, where they get out of their typical style of play, where they're aggressive down the field.
But this is really the Holland style of play anyway, right? So they're not really playing any differently than they would if they were down one or tied. They're playing the same type of game, but it's really, as you said, it's really effective being up 1-0 with the wind advantage.
Yeah,
the Seawolves have really been stifled this half. There's no question about it. But that's the beauty of soccer. It only takes one time. Like if Scarlett McDonald, like if she could have broken through that just that once, it only takes one.
She only needs another foot or two of space there to operate, which we saw yesterday.
And that really is the beauty of soccer. A team can be outplayed the entire game, and they get one scoring chance, and they capitalize on it, and all of a sudden it's a tie game. And that is
a good ball in there, right to Grant Spin on the deflection.
That was a tough one.
Chaos in front of the net. The Seawolves are able to clear it away out of the box. Still pressure from the Hurricanes, and well done by Heb there to clear that out.
That's what I love about Grant Spin. I mean, she's a top level goalkeeper in this conference. That was a tough ball to handle. Any bouncing ball is a tough ball to handle. And she made the decision not necessarily to catch it, but to knock it out, and hope that the defenders could send it away from trouble. And they did.
It's a good play there because with a bouncing ball, there's so much spin on it that oftentimes, even with those gloves,
And that's a
it's
good
slip out
ball.
there.
Yeah. It's a good ball
movement
from
upfield
Grace
there for the
Gordon.
Seawolves.
Here we go.
Now, McDonald.
Yeah.
She's going to keep it away from the Hurricane defenders there. Ball
And there's
one back.
another example of how the Hurricanes use their body well to shield, to protect the ball. Like, they're all pretty good at that, and it's a good skill, a good team skill to have, to be able to shield the ball from the opposition. And Hurricanes are very good at it.
Just really good at keeping possession of the ball. It's
They are.
It's going to be difficult for a team. You know, as a game goes on, especially early in the season, you're still learning so much about your opponents and yourself and how you want to play.
That's right. But the Hurricanes are a possession team. Because they really haven't had any scoring chances either, other than the goal.
Yeah.
They haven't really had any other chances from what I can see. I'm talking about top quality scoring chances.
Looks, yeah.
So the Seawolves have played a good defensive game as well. But now we're talking about Holland being up 1 and the Seawolves being down 1. So the Seawolves really need to transition pretty soon to an attacking mode. And they might end up losing 2 or 3-0 trying to get that equalizing goal.
Yeah.
But at some point they're going to have to try to do that. Because
for any hockey fans in the house, it's kind of a similar principle to almost pulling your goalie and throwing another man out there on the ice.
It's almost exactly the same. That's right. They're just pushing up a defender or 2 or 3. They might leave 1 back, right? And everyone else goes up to the midfield.
There we go. There's McDonald. Almost wins it away.
And McDonald's so close today, so close to breaking through. But credit to Holland for keeping her in check today. Not an easy thing to do. Not every team's going to keep her in check this year.
Not at all. And Scarlett has very big expectations for herself this season and for the rest of the team as well.
Absolutely.
One of the vocal leaders out there. She's just so passionate about her sport and her teammates.
Well,
you can really see it reflect on the field.
She really came into her own last year. And I think it was partly because Josie was so good. She brought Scarlett up. And now Scarlett she's the one that's carrying the torch on for the Seawolves in terms of the striking.
Yeah.
So I understand. I see why she has high expectations of herself, and those are the players that they're your top players, the ones that have the expectations of themselves over and above what everybody else expects.
And Josie was, and now Scarlett is just such a big piece of that team culture that they talk about so much, and that you need to you work continuously throughout the years to build, but every year your team's going to look a little bit different with how that goes. And
that's right.
Last year it was Josie setting the tone, and this year it'll be someone like Scarlett being a leader for the team and dictating how they want to play. And
well, Josie's that's a big that's a big piece of the puzzle to try to replace.
Yeah.
She was a perennial, one of the top scorers in the ACAA perennially when she was here playing. So every year. So the Seawolves. Looks like Cassandra is down. We're going to take a little breather while she's down on the field.
You got to hope that's just some cramping there.
Okay, so here we Grant Spin has the ball. So Cassandra's out. Number 3, Hannah LeBlanc's in for the Hurricanes, and she looks like she's ready to go. So Hannah LeBlanc's coming into the game. Cassandra, one of the top players for the Hurricanes today, or at least one of the more noticeable Hurricanes today, is over getting some treatment. Hannah LeBlanc comes in. Of course, if you're a player on the bench, you never want to come in when someone's injured, but you want to go in there. Everybody wants to play, right? So we'll see what Hannah LeBlanc can bring to the table here.
These are those opportunities as well that coaches really like to take a look at too. Is when
it's early in the year.
Yeah,
it's early in the season, right?
Opportunity to earn some more time and provide some lift for your teammates with your fresh legs after they've worked so hard to keep the Seawolves scoreless thus far.
And coaches can assess players more in a game like this, against the Seawolves, good team. And, maybe Hannah LeBlanc shows that I'm ready to go, coach.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get in there. I want to get in there. And
you're actually absolutely right, because this is really been such a possession battle. A lot of this game
has
been played in the midfield, and that's just going to show a lot of your composure and how you're able to react under pressure and handle the ball and make good split-second decisions. As the Hurricanes get an opportunity, but that's a good defensive play there. I believe that was Grace Gordon.
Well, looks like, Grace. I think it was Grace Gordon. But speaking of Hannah LeBlanc, she had her chance there, and
quick opportunity.
Quick opportunity, and she made the best of it. She went after it too.
Good chance there. Even better defense there by Grace Gordon. Heb throws it into Marr.
Jenna Marr
trying to win the ball there, and the Hurricanes again come up with it.
Hurricanes are, no question about it, they're good at winning the ball. They're good at winning the battles out there. They've given the Seawolves everything they can handle today. And vice versa. I think it's been a pretty even game. With the exception of that one goal. We're 78 minutes in, 12 minutes left in this game, so I think the Seawolves. I think it's time to throttle up the offense a little bit and see if they can get something going. Get some balls down the wing. Get some. That's the one thing that I think has been missing from the Seawolves game the last two games. That wide ball out to the wing, then back in on the cross.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of those to speak of.
Yeah, and credit to the back line for the Hurricanes there, just making that so difficult. Occasionally, they've had a few opportunities to get the ball deep down the sideline, but any opportunity for a cross has just been swallowed up.
It has. Yeah, great defensive positioning for the Hurricanes. And the Hurricanes, they're playing such good positional play that they're not really having to expend a lot of energy doing it.
Yeah.
They're kind of moving as a full unit across the field and, letting the ball, letting the closest player to it be the pursuer of the ball. They just play an efficient game. You used that word a while ago, and I like that word. They are playing an efficient game. The other player I've been impressed with the Hurricanes, and again, when you're haven't allowed a goal, there's a lot of good players playing well out there. But number 13, McDougall in the center back. I think she might be a sweeping position, but. First-year player. She's really poised for a first-year player.
Extremely, yeah. She showed a lot of
both
composure
on
that back
defense
line.
and on offense. You
Mhm.
know, she is a really good player. And so the Hurricanes, you know, they're certainly going to be in the mix here in the ACAA. It's a tough battle to make the top four in the playoffs in both the women's and the men's. But certainly the Hurricanes are going to be in the mix of the top tier teams. They'll be right in that mix.
Mm. Here's McDonald in pursuit of it.
Yeah, that
Tries
was.
to win it away. She can.
But just the fact that she took off to the sideline, away from trouble,
Mm.
you know, that
Just always aware of that area of the field. She likes
always
to
aware.
operate.
That's right.
Mm. There's a good win there. But back to the Hurricanes. A good
That's
ball there. Oh,
nice ball through there.
job by Grace.
Carissa
Clears
George has
away.
played a nice game for
Yeah.
Holland too, number
Multi-sport
5.
athlete.
Is she?
Yeah, she's also on the Holland College Hurricanes basketball team as well.
Oh,
so
is
she
okay.
likes to stay busy
Yeah, no
throughout
kidding.
the year.
No kidding. Yeah.
She's a big contributing member of that team. As
The
well last
basketball
year.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
called a few of their games, and
I think
she was a
now
big
that you
piece of
mentioned,
that program.
I'm sure I remember watching her play. There's not too many dual sport players anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I know there used to be quite a few at UNBSJ, and it's a little more difficult now with the winter sports starting training so early.
Yeah.
It's hard to do both. Well, you can't do both at the same time.
And I honestly do think that's almost in a way, you love to see multi-sport athletes compete, but that just goes to speak of the sport culture at this school and
Yeah.
how many strides they've made in the last few years
Yeah.
with their programs and the ramp up of the training. And
Yeah.
from that, you've really seen an increase in the quality of
Oh,
athletes
yeah.
here, 100%. And
Yeah,
and
for
that's
sure.
just not the obviously credit to the coaches and the training staff, but
Yeah.
you have seen that shift of mentality within the players as
Yeah.
well. There's a growing sport culture here
Oh, yeah.
at UNBSJ, and that we've seen the last few years. And
Oh, yeah.
some of these ladies here in the field today are really a big part of that.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay, this is going to be a Holland College free kick. An opportunity to at least get this ball into the box. Have somebody run onto it and try to put it past Grant Spin. Easier said than done. It's a nice ball, right to Spin.
Oh, and there we
Look at
go.
those! Look at those hands. Like no rebound, nothing.
You see the technique on that is just so polished from her. A lot of people, a lot of goaltenders who might not have the experience she does are going to kind of reach out to catch that. She catches that ball just like a receiver would.
That's
in
right.
football. There's
That's
no,
right. Two
no way
hands,
for that ball
just
to
like
pop
the
out
just
right
like
to
the
pocket.
fullback that's about to be tackled.
Mhm.
They wrap their arms around the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not getting it from me. That's the.
Mm-hmm.
But the Hurricanes are starting to slice some balls into the sea. The Hurricanes have seemed to be the last couple of minutes. They've kind of ramped up their offense.
Yeah.
And I think that's coming from the Seawolves pushing up.
Mm-hmm. A lot more opportunities in transition
Yeah.
for these teams here with
Yeah,
with
this
6 minutes to play.
Yeah, that Carissa George is. Look at that, just nice vision,
Yeah. Good goal kick
putting
there.
some pressure
Back
on
to
the ball,
center.
but
And header into Mar.
yeah,
She's going to head down now at the 30-yard line. Approaching the box. Back out to Heb. On the feet of the
yeah,
Hurricanes there.
yeah. I think for the next 10 minutes or so, the Seawolves are going to be susceptible to 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, maybe a breakaway.
Mm-hmm.
But they need, if they want to tie this thing, they've got to push forward.
Gonna have to make a
They've
quick
got to
push
they've
here.
got to make a push. We're at the 80, almost the 85-minute mark. There's only 5 minutes left in this game, plus any injury time, maybe a couple of minutes added on. The Seawolves have somebody coming in who went out. Seawolves, who came in. think Jenna Brenton went out. And I think Emma Como went in. Number 11, Emma Como.
Here's George now. Ball's just a little too strong there. It's going to be.
So the
the
Seawolves
back
looking
line for
for
a
some
goal
fresh, looking for some, fresh runs from Como now.
Never bad to have a fresh pair of legs there. We need a strong push down the field. Ball won back on the sideline by the Hurricanes. Back to center.
Look at that
Down the
pursuit,
line
though.
with the
Look at that
Seawolves.
pursuit. The Hurricanes, that's a gritty team. They pursue that ball. They want to be first to it. They want it. And if they don't get it, you're not getting past them.
Not at all. You see the back line for the Hurricanes. They just track the ball so well.
They
Almost
do.
like a safety.
They do. They do. They're very solid.
To
And
your
that was
point
a smart.
earlier,
That
they
was a
move
smart. That was
almost
just a
connected
smart little
in the line.
pass back to the player that can see the field, so that they can decide where they want to put that ball. Very smart.
They do make some very smart short passes a lot. You hear in other sports sometimes they say give up a good shot for a great shot, and they give up a good pass opportunity for a great pass. They move it in an area where some players just have great vision. At the sideline now.
Sacco. Oh,
Ball in the
through the
center.
middle. Nobody was there. Cassandra's back in, of course. You know when she's back in. Well, if you're a Seawolves fan, you are getting a little nervous here now. You are getting a little nervous if you're a Seawolves fan. There's only probably 5 minutes left in this game, including injury time. I would say that would be my estimate.
Only really time here for one, maybe two pushes down the field, and you're going to have to make use of this free kick here.
Yeah, and Holland, I mean, being the smart team they are, they're probably just going to play the corners, play it deep to the corners now, make the Seawolves come full field every time.
Go down, nice deflection there.
Yeah, see, they're
It's going to be out of play.
Yeah, they're going to.
Throw in.
Yeah, Holland are going to play to the corner flags here from now on. Because it's a big field when you have to get through, a penetrating wall that Holland have built up the entire game. Sophie Hunt with a nifty little move in the midfield there.
Here they are at the sideline. Try to get that into the box for a chance, but it's George who's going to clear it out.
Oh,
There's
here
an
she,
opportunity.
Cassandra.
Back in the game now. Goes on the run.
Yeah, not running quite as well as she did before she went out. Maybe a little bit hurt there.
Not a bad piece of defending there. But
Well, and that's a smart play. I think Hannah LeBlanc, get the ball deep, force the keeper to make a kick out. Just keep it deep in the Seawolves territory, and we're at 89 minutes and counting. Yeah, if you're the Seawolves now, it's red light time now. It's they need to.
Well, that's a good look up the field there. The Hurricane just a little too strong.
Yeah, but again, the ball's all the way down to the Seawolves. They have to bring it all the way back out again.
It's a nice goal kick there. Mara tries to handle it.
I love the way Holland step up. They step up.
Good redirection there by Mara to get it deep in the ball. Oh, just too strong off the side for a goal kick.
But you have to admire the way the Hurricanes have stepped up. They're always pushing forward, even on defense. They're forcing the play everywhere on the field.
That hits the 90-minute mark there, so we're going to have 3 minutes of added time. Hurricanes looking to take theirs as they set up for a goal kick here.
And Pratt is taking her time here as she gets ready for this kick. And again, it's out toward the wing anyway.
One back and sent deep. That's McDonald on the chase.
And look at the pressure. Look at the pressure on McDonald
Great
there.
piece of defending there. Oh, and we're gonna have a whistle there, and,
And that's gonna take a little bit of time to get this set up. Just the Hurricanes are just saying, okay, a couple more kicks, and that probably will do it.
Yeah, Holland happy now to just continue to work
All the way down the wing, out of trouble in the midfield. Holland ball again.
almost saved.
It's
There on the
not looking
sideline,
good for the Seawolves as the referee looks at his watch for the, I don't know if it's the first time, but he's looking at his watch, and that means
maybe 4 minutes to go
probably
here.
probably less than a minute, maybe 35, 40 seconds.
Redirected back out of bounds. Another throw in here.
This could do it for Holland.
We've spoken so much to it already, but the ability to win those 50-50 balls
Huge.
for
Huge.
the Hurricanes, like they're really not a 50-50 ball to
No,
a certain extent.
no.
They've played that so well.
They do. Look, even there. Here's
a little bit of space now.
Carissa George came back, got goal side. You know, you talk about basketball because you know you're a big basketball guy. It's getting in a good defensive position, right? Without having to reach in, without having to reach around and foul, without it. She got goal side, then she took the ball from her. There was
Just
no
such great
foul,
body
nothing.
positioning.
Just good body positioning. Yep.
We talked about efficiency earlier, and you said how the Hurricanes almost don't look like they're exerting themselves so much just because of how good their positioning is
Yeah.
in this game.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's almost seems to be what the difference was in this one. Just really fantastic defending and work with the ball and ability to control the pace.
Yeah.
And limit chances for the other team.
That's
And,
right.
You know, they capitalized when they had theirs.
They did.
No slight to the Seawolves,
They really
had a
got.
great
They really got.
defensive game as well.
They really got one chance,
Yeah. That's
and
all
they
it
scored
takes.
on it. That was it. Because the Seawolves, their defense was just as good. Just as good.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job today limiting opportunities. There's a lot of players on that Hurricanes team who you don't want to give them any space. You see them get a liquor room, they take off, and
Well, we've
be
heard
it.
the referee's whistle. This game is over. The Holland Hurricanes have won the game, 1-0, a nail biter. But kudos to Holland for such a good effort here today. Seawolves a good effort as well, and both teams look like they're poised. They're both poised to make a run at the ACAA, for sure the playoffs, and you know, maybe even higher, you know, maybe 1, 2, or 3 in the standings,
these
or
teams
4.
have high expectations
They do.
themselves, and they'll be really exciting to to watch if they ever match up again. Because when you watch a game like this, such a battle for control and a defensive battle, that both those teams really want to
That's right.
crack things open and show the other team what they can do.
And the
in terms
Seawolves,
of scoring goals.
they'll have a chance to go to the island and maybe, you know, reciprocate this result on the island. But for now, Holland College win the game 1-0, and stay with us. The men's game is set to start in about 20 minutes, 3:15,
Yeah, it should
and
be a
that
really good
is
one.
going to be a good game. So if you have a chance to join us, please do. And for now, we are out. Thank you.